All right, people, welcome to Pips Creek, the cafe, a podcast where you can order your favorite drink, sit at our table, and listen to some slightly intense but definitely worthwhile conversations. A podcast where you can drink, listen, and converse. Today, I am joined once again in the cafe by Cristhian. Say hello, Cristhian, to the people.
Hello.
As you know, here at the Pips Creek Cafe, we always have conversations that center around drinks. And today, I am going to switch it up just a little bit. I am currently making me a Jack and Coke, but since I am on keto, I am only doing literally like a pepper splash of Coke. And what are you drinking on, Cristhian?
On the same thing, but a regular Jack and Coke.
With all those calories.
Mm-hmm.
And all those carbs.
Not on keto.
No. Not on keto. All right. And for those of you who are over the age of 21, if you want to grab you a beverage, an adult beverage, feel free to do so. And for those of you who are under the age of 21, or for those of you who just don't feel like drinking today, you can get you some water, get you some tea, get you some coffee, get you some hot cocoa, or if you want to get some apple juice or even some lemonade, you can go ahead and get that because we serve that here at the cafe. All right, people, are you ready to get into conversation, Cristhian?
Faux show.
Faux show. All right, and so we are going to go to the conversation.
So, what's on the menu today at Peeps Creek?
But before I do that, I need to make sure that you mix this up appropriately because I need to put a splash of Coke in it. And on the menu today is, Cristhian, what's on the menu today?
The insecure effect.
The insecure effect. For those of you who don't know, the menu is the topic. All right, so before we get to the topic of the day, for those of you out there who are looking at us on the actual video, by the way, you can look at the videos on YouTube. I think the channel is just called Peach Street Podcast. On YouTube, go ahead, look at them, blah, blah, blah. But if you see the video, you also know that there are some decorations hanging up behind me on the menu. It says happy birthday. And there's a black balloon over there that says happy birthday over there by the bar where the Don Julio 1942 is sitting.
You forgot to give yourself a promo. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh yeah, you gotta like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. But moving on, the reason that these decorations are up is because today is Friday and I celebrated a birthday on Wednesday?
Tuesday,
the 14th.
the 14th.
April the 14th, I am in Aries and I celebrated my 39th birthday. That is 3-9. That is 1 year from being protected under the federal laws from age discrimination in employment. But that's okay. I still look good. Look at this. Black don't cry. All right. So, with all that out of the way, I want to take the time to actually thank Cristhian for putting these decorations up. Normally during my birthday I always get depressed mainly because, I don't know, it's been like that for like maybe like the last 10, 12, 15 years. But the reason is I've been away from my family since I was 19 or 18. And so birthdays really are not that important anymore. And a lot of people really don't really celebrate my birthday apparently for whatever reason because they don't like me. And the last time I had like a big birthday celebration was when, or someone really like going all out about me gifts was when I was married. But obviously I ain't married no more. But anyhow, this year was totally different. So I received so much love. I received so many gifts. Like my friend Kenny and Kwan from North Carolina woke me up and said, go to the door. There's breakfast and coffee because I like coffee and I like my coffee black. And it was there. Then they sent me a new decanter set, which is over here for those of you looking. And we are using the new glasses that they sent, which makes this drink taste even better. But let me make sure. And then my friend Cristhian over there got me some Dr. Martens. Now, we had this huge debate the other day. Is that right?
No one calls them
Okay, but
Dr. Martin.
you call them Dr. Martin.
Everyone calls him Dr.
Yeah, everyone. But the reality is that Dr. Martins. It does not say DOC. It says DRMARTINS.
Nah.
And technically, I was telling them these shoes been out for God knows how long. And back in the day, no one really wore them. And now people are trying to wear them, make them all hip hop. But anyhow,
People aren't trying to wear them, they wear them.
they're wearing
and
them.
they're
That's
Dog
true.
Martens.
They're okay. Anyway, I got my favorite color. One of my favorite colors. I have a black pair, and now I have a, what is that? Burgundy, beige,
Like a
Maroon?
burgundy.
Anyway, very nice. Then what else did I get?
The best party of your life.
I did a party. Yes, we were on quarantine, so we had a 3-person party, and then we had a virtual happy hour with several of my friends and frat brother from down in Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia Beach area, and we played games, and then we had drinks, and then we had music, and it was pretty cool to celebrate my 39th birthday in quarantine.
Your friends from South Carolina were on it too.
I know, I just said that.
Oh, you just said Virginia Beach.
North Carolina.
Or North Carolina.
Kenny and Kwan, they were there. Oh, and then 2 of my other frat brother came on to the house party, so it was a lot of fun. Did you agree or
Yeah,
no?
it was fun.
It was a different way to celebrate my birthday. So, anyhow, happy birthday to me. I celebrate my birthday all month. So,
Yay.
yay me. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this topic. The topic is the insecure effect. So, Christian had a little commentary earlier when he says that, what did you say about me starting shows and never finishing them?
You have like 20 shows that you start, and I've been there, and you never actually finish them. And I can name a couple.
Name them.
Where one was Insecure,
Mhm.
another one was Shameless. We started Schitt's Creek. Grace and Frankie.
Yeah, I forgot about that whole. I didn't even. And Orange is the New Black.
Exact. I'm like, they're all good shows. I don't know why you don't end it.
The only shows that I watched every episode
My
of
600-pound life.
My 600-Pound Life and Forensic Files. So those 2 shows I am always going to be on top of. I don't know. I just feel like it's so much stress, and especially since I'm no longer connected to like a carrier or a.
They're all on Netflix. There's no
I
excuse.
know, but you know, the thing is now that I'm since I've been a cable cutter, right? Television cable cutter. You know, I have all these apps and I have access to these apps, but it's not the same because they're not in one location. Where I guess what are you about to say?
Netflix is all in one. All those shows that I've just mentioned are all on Netflix, except for Insecure.
But it's a commitment to like. I work a lot, and then I have a lot of habits. I like to read, and so I like to cut off my time doing stuff that like I really want to do, and just sitting in front of a TV is like annoying.
You read while watching Forensic Files or My 600
Because I've seen, well, not my 600-Pound Life. If they're new, I'm gonna watch it. My Forensic Files, I've seen every episode. Like
we were just watching a new show today. What was it called? Deep State.
Deep State.
And you were reading on and off.
Because I'm a master multitasker.
So that excuse, no.
Anyhow, so the reason that we got here is that because we've been on quarantine, I actually been off all week because of my birthday. Actually, I might extend it to the end of the month. I binge watched. So I watched Insecure the first season when it first came out, and then
Season 4 came out, and I wanted to watch it.
right. I was like, what season 4? I just finished season 1 like last year. But apparently season 2, 3 came out, and season 4 started on Sunday. And so I binge watched season 2, season 3, and the first episode of season 4. And it just triggered so many things. And there was a particular point where there was something going on the show. We'll talk about that while we got to this topic, about Issa Rae cheating, that kind of got us to this particular aspect. So before we do that, I'm going to make Cristhian a drink. And while I make your drink, you are going to give people everyone should have seen the show, right? But let's just assume for sake of argument, there are some folks out there who have not seen the show. So if you can give them like the Cliff Notes perspective of what Insecure is about.
So basically, it's revolves around like relationships and work and friendships. Those are the main three things, and it's just a lot of crazy things that happen.
But they're like all millennial type individuals, right?
Yeah, they're all
African American primarily, right?
Yeah. Well, Issa Rae is the one that
Right.
co-directors.
Yeah, so you should tell them like Issa Rae, she's like the executive producer, creator, you know, that type of thing. Because I'm making you a drink. Thank you.
Wow, putting me in the spot like that. I suck at explaining things.
Then why do you watch it?
Cause I like season 1. I like
Okay,
the whole
well- aspect
aspect of Lawrence and Issa's relationship and how it all went to shit, and then how her work life was, because I could kind of relate to it. She was unhappy. She felt like she wasn't really heard, and then just like her friendships with the other friends, they were all like crazy, but then again they were all professionals, and they had, at least some of them had their shit together, even though like they had their small little things that were going on in their lives, like within like relationships or work or
But primarily everyone's relationship is to the shits.
basically.
In some regard.
And that's what I like, because it was all different. Like Issa was just a mess, and then I forgot her other friend.
Which one? The lawyer?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I can Google it real quick.
I feel like we should know their names.
I don't know her name.
She had her shit together when it came to work. She was a professional. She was a lawyer. She had a nice ass condo, but when it came to like love, she was just a mess, because she was very picky. She had standards. She had a whole like timeline. Molly, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just really interesting.
Yeah, so, and for those of you out there, I'm sure of you are seeing it, we're doing a horrible job of explaining it. If Issa Rae was listening to this, she'd be like, these motherfuckers fucking up my show. But anyhow, it's like millennial type individuals in the urban city, in the LA area, right?
Yeah.
They all have different aspects of their job. There is a lawyer. Issa Rae is doing like this nonprofit community outreach in the school system, right? Trying to help folks who are underprivileged. At least that's the presumption I get. They're underprivileged and just trying to get them a leg up, right? So they're out there into the schools doing outreach, doing extracurricular activities.
We got y'all.
Yeah, it's called We Got Y'all, right? But the weird thing about it is that almost inevitably, every school that they go into is heavily populated by minorities, African Americans, Hispanics, and the staff is primarily white. And in actuality, the only person who is of color is Issa Rae.
Yeah.
So it's like that dichotomy of you calling this program We Got Y'all, right? Where there's only one representative of the minority sector who's actually employed and going out there. And then she is engaged, or not engaged, she has a long-term relationship with Lawrence, right? And Lawrence is, I don't know what his job is or what he does
He's
from first season.
like an app developer, like IT.
Right.
A software developer, whatever. you
Yeah,
call that.
and they kind of lived in this apartment together, right, in LA. So
the Dooms.
The Dooms, yes. And so ultimately what happens is that they've been together for 5 years. I don't know how long they've been living together. And Lawrence was in the process of trying to not find himself like personally or professionally, but really trying to put his eggs into developing this app, right, called Whoop Whoop.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what it was supposed to do. Do you remember what the app was supposed to do?
I don't remember. I think it was like, I don't remember.
Okay, yeah. So for those of you out there listening and not looking, there is a bubbling sound, and I am smoking hookah in the cafe today. So that's what you're hearing in the background. But there was a period of time where he was essentially unemployed, but he
it was 2 years, a long period.
All right, and so while we were watching, I don't even know what season it was. It was 2 or 3.
It was going from season 1 to season 2. And season 2 is where all the shit went down.
Right, but when we were watching it,
It was season 2.
it was season 2, and you made that comment.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like the first episode.
Yeah. So in season 1, towards the end of season 1, Issa Rae goes to visit a old friend. I think they had mutual attraction for years, but they just never did anything with each other. Who happens to be into music, trying to get into the field of being a producer, right?
I think that it was more that she was contemplating on leaving Lore in season 1. And then season 2, that's when she was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, but she never ended up doing it. And that's when she met, or she reconnected with the other guy. I forgot his name.
Nathan, right?
Nathan? Sure. Was it?
Yeah, that's his name, isn't it?
Nathan? Okay, yeah, with him. No, Nathan is the one from season. That's the other one.
Oh,
like left and disappeared. Okay,
keep going. Go ahead.
But yeah, they saw each other at a club or something,
Mm-hmm.
and then they started talking, and there were always like these little sparks.
Daniel King.
Daniel, there you
Daniel
go.
King.
Okay, and then they always had like some sort of like flirtatious thing going on.
The energy, right?
Yeah.
It was like calling them.
And then, long story short, she basically
Had sex in the
Daniel.
in the studio because he was putting down beats. Even though he ain't an artist for real, he ain't signed nobody. He was just making beats, and she had sex with him. And then Lawrence found out. This was in season 1. I forgot how he found out because I left the show.
No, it was season 2.
Lawrence found out in season 1.
No, he found out season 2.
So I watched season 2.
Yes, you watched season. That's where we started from.
No, that's wrong. I remember watching season 1 by myself. At the end, he was like, "Who the fuck is Daniel?" Remember on the couch.
Oh, I thought that was season 1. Like, or season 2, episode 1.
It doesn't matter which season was,
Okay,
but at some point he finds out.
Yeah.
And long story short, he leaves her.
Yep.
Right? And so throughout the season, there's this like, these two are constantly going back and forth of trying to figure out, should I stay? Should I go? Do I want to be done with you completely? And so they see each other a lot, and they're always like, there's this energy with them. So it's like, it's undeniable. There's an energy with them. And they're always trying to like figure out, can we be friends? Can we not be friends? I hate you. I fucking love you. I fucking despise you. I hope you're dead. I hope you're not dead, but I hope you hurt, type of thing, right? And so when we were watching it, Cristhian made a comment. Oh, no, because I was like, oh my God, I'm so sick of these two relationships. Like, either they fucking be done with each other completely, and I think I said that Lawrence just needs to say, fuck Issa Rae, and go on about his business. And then you said, I wrote this down, you said, let me make sure this is right. He was a loser, he ain't had no job, and it was okay for her to cheat. So
I did not say it was okay. Cheating is not okay. She went about it all wrong. I would have just broken up with him. He didn't have her shit together. It's been 2 years. He was just on the couch all day, doing nothing while she was out at work. To me, it just makes no sense being with a bum person.
But he wasn't I mean, why do you call him a bum?
he wasn't actually, you see it throughout the show too, he wasn't actually going out there and putting himself out there and like trying.
But
like there's other shit you could do while you're waiting
like
for
go to
an
Walmart?
opportunity. Work at Walmart. You're making some sort of income.
But there's a fear. Like, okay, think about it. Okay, if you are developing, you're putting your heart and soul. Like, let's just take this for example. I love this. This podcast is truly a hobby, but it's something I really love doing. I like talking. I feel like the conversations are great. I feel like the messaging is great. Some people may not like it. Some people may. Some people may just don't like me, and so they don't want to support. And that's fucking fine. I don't fucking care. But at the end of the day, it's what I like doing. But you've seen me. Like, I put time, energy, effort into trying to develop, at least conceptually, what we're going to talk about, how it's going to flow, blah, blah, blah. I don't just go out there, right?
But he already had that all figured out.
I know, but it's his baby. And so it's like, okay, you introduce something to the world. You don't want people to like, everyone isn't going to like it, right? That's the reality. And the way that we're so, the way society is right now, we're so short-minded in the sense of our attention span is so short. If a person don't look a certain way, or they're not giving me like this hip hop, or they're not speaking to like everything that I need, then you're just gonna push it aside, no matter what the messaging is.
But you see, even when he got his job and presented his app idea, they still didn't like it. But he had a job, he had income, what was holding
Why
him
did he
back
quit?
before?
Oh, you're talking about this? You're talking about this season, the last couple of seasons?
It's like season when he got his job.
Okay, but I guess what I was said when we were looking at it is that I don't know why he is even contemplating anything with this chick, because she fucking cheated on him at the end of the day.
And 5 years is a long time.
Yeah, 5 years is a long time, but 5 years also is a time for her to realize she supported what he was doing. Like, I guess it bothers me, like you can't get into something understanding what you're getting into and then expect thinking in your head that a person is going to do X, Y, and Z in a certain amount of time if you don't have those conversations. She wasn't having those conversations with him in season 1. It was all these conversations with Molly or her other friends, but it wasn't with Lawrence. So Lawrence didn't really take...
I feel like they did talk.
About what?
We didn't rewatch season 1, but I feel like I remember them like actually talking about it and him saying his ideas, this and that. It was just more of a matter of fact that he didn't really try and go out there, or he tried a couple times and it didn't work out, and then he would just like fall back down.
Okay.
But it took.
But why couldn't she just leave?
Like,
why go and cheat?
I don't know. I feel like the whole cheating thing was more of like, it wasn't. It sounds like it was planned because she mentioned it,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like it also just happened.
Okay, so let's take that. So let's start with the former and then work to the latter.
Okay.
It was planned. Okay.
Semi-planned.
If it was planned, I just think that's shitty. That makes her a horrible person. Like, you're planning to cheat instead of just saying, Lawrence, look, I've been supporting you, boo, with this whoop whoop for a while. This shit ain't popping off. You've been on this couch. Look, I'm going to give you 8 months, or I'm going to give you 5 months, or I'm going to give you 3 months to get your shit together. And if you can't sell this product, I'm still going to support the app and the process of doing the app. But in the interim, you need to get a job. And I don't care how much money you bring to the table. I don't care if it's a part-time job. I don't care if it's at the local gas station. Just get a job so you can help me pay rent, right? Because they didn't own the house. It's like a little 1-bedroom apartment and not that great of a neighborhood. So it's not like it's uberly expensive, right? But she also is working in a nonprofit. And we know nonprofits sometimes don't pay great, but the work they do is great. So I'm not shitting on nonprofit. So let me make that perfectly clear. But she didn't have that conversation, which bothers me. And so you go out and have these conversations with your friends, and then you go meet someone, whatever. I don't care if you just happen to go out and see your friend out there, blah blah blah, and then you go and fuck them in the studio. Like, to me, that's just, it's like you're planning to go cheat to do what?
I mean, I guess I could see it. I've never been in that place.
I mean, I've been in a situation where I planned to cheat, and I did it. Okay, because
So you relate to Issa in some way.
I don't, because the difference between Issa and I is that I didn't cheat because I was trying to like get from under a situation, didn't have the balls to say X, Y, and Z. I cheated because the person I would at the time, I'm not gonna tell you who it was, but kept accusing me of having these different relationships with these different women, and I wasn't. I was popular, yes, okay, but I was popular because I had to do certain things, and I kept getting accused, and I was fucking good, and I kept getting accused of this, that, and the third, and I basically told the person, look, if you keep fucking accusing me of doing, I'm just gonna go and do it to satisfy this thirst, obviously, that you have of me cheating.
What
Now,
kind of mentality is that though? Like, what do you think cheating was gonna do for you? Make the other person happy?
I was gonna I'm not saying I'm justified. I'm not saying it was the smartest thing to do. But the difference is that I told the person before doing it. Because I kept getting accused of doing something I wasn't. When I was very open with the fact that I wasn't cheating. And I was very sincere with it. Like, you can't keep stressing someone out about cheating, especially when you don't have evidence of it. Or there's nothing really like, you don't have any kind of suspicions about it, other than you just think this person's out here doing something because they're not at the house.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
At this point, I feel the same way about you and Issa. Which is you should have just done something about it instead of actually going and doing it and then being a horrible person.
Okay, so let's table that horrible person pin. Boom, horrible person, because I planned it. I said I was going to do it, and I did it. At least that's an action plan, right? There's an itemized list. I told you my checklist. You keep accusing me, I'm going to go and do it. Kept on accusing me, I did it. So obviously I satisfied that thirst in my head. Let's take the opposite then. The opposite is, okay, it wasn't planned, it just happened. So what's your position on that? Is there a difference in the level of cheating in your head between that kind that is planned and that just happened?
No. Cheating is cheating, period.
Okay. So if you were Lawrence and you were cheated on, whether it was planned or not, what would be your reaction to it?
I would leave the person. Yes, I probably would have done the same thing that happened to both of them, where they were both bickering, this and that, they were confused. And I don't know, maybe if, I don't want to say I'd take the person back, but friends.
Mm-hmm. But do you think there's a lesser blow to the person who's been cheated on? That this was planned versus I was in a weak moment or I was drunk and it just happened?
How would they know that?
If the person is telling you that, like, would you... I feel like most people would be like...
When you cheat, did you tell the person?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She really did. Mm-hmm.
Like right after?
Yeah, maybe a couple times after.
A horrible person.
I admit it. I was young. I was stupid. That's not an excuse. But I was very clear. I guess for me,
Being clear is being clear after the first time you do it.
Okay, I got it. Okay, but I was clear.
No, you weren't.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't a shit on Deontay moment or Sean moment. Okay.
Kinda is now.
All right, that's fine. My question to you though, as the receiver of being cheated on, I know that sounds weird and odd. Do you feel like you would be less blown by the fact that it was planned versus this was some shit that just happened.
I mean, I've been cheated on before.
And how did that happen? Was it planned? Was it just spur of the moment? Or
I
what?
found out like after we broke up.
And did they say it was planned? It was spur of the moment?
I mean, the breakup was like mutual.
Mm-hmm.
But then I put two and two together, and it was literally like 2 days after we broke up, saw them together, and I was like, I didn't really care though, because it was like, we were young. I personally never cheated. So I even asked the person, I was like, were you talking to that person while we were together? And they said, yeah. And I was like, okay, fuck you. We were still cool after that though, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I wasn't
like
in
cool,
love
like
with
hanging
the
out?
person.
Or?
Yeah, we still hung out, like friends.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little more than friends. But
Yeah, still had relations, right?
But like it was just friends. Like I knew I didn't like that person
Okay.
the way that I may have liked. I don't even think I liked them like that. While we were
Okay,
together.
but you still didn't answer my question.
What?
Do you think there's a difference in whether it was planned versus it just happened, or to you, cheating is cheating no matter how it happened?
Cheating is cheating no matter how it happened. I don't care if it's planned. I don't care if, like in your case, how that happened,
Mm-hmm.
or in Issa's case, cheating is cheating.
I guess for me, I think I would probably be more blown or more pissed that it was planned, because I'm like, and let me clarify that, because I know I'm look at this. You see this video? You see my video on this hot. Just disrespectful, and I'm paying him for this.
No, he's not.
All right, so
He owes me for the past 2 podcasts, just so you guys know.
IOUs. I'm paying you with alcohol. Listen, okay.
I bought this alcohol, just so everyone knows.
Not that one.
I bought the Jack.
Did you?
Yes.
Well, finally. What the fuck? Anyway,
Oh.
moving on. I think, let me just clarify when I say planned. If it was a situation where it's like you actively going behind the person's back, setting up situations to cheat with the intentions of it being hidden, right? I think I would be more pissed about that versus it just happened. Now, I still would be like, fuck you, right, at the end of the day. But I think my level of passivity, if that's a word, will be higher on the fact that, bitch, we've been together and you've been planning this shit behind my back. Like, how long has this happened? Has this been like for years? Has it been a month? What the fuck is going on? Like, what did I do? Type of thing. And so I don't know. I guess I would be more upset if it was planned versus it just happened. Now, I would tell you that I think any excuse of, oh, I was drunk and it was the alcohol is some bullshit. Because I've been in my last relationship was that I was just drunk and I did X, Y, and Z. No, fuck that. That is bullshit to me. Like, at that point, even though I went back and forth with the person, at that point, I've always had in my head that person was a cheating ass bitch.
But why stay?
Because it was convenient. It was to me, because it was the concept of, I don't want to have to try to do this whole dating thing again, getting to know another person again. It's time consuming. It's stressful, and I mean, I don't have time for it. Like, at the end of the day, like, I have a job. Everyone else have jobs. Yes, granted. I work a lot. I just don't have time. Like, and it was just, okay, I know this person's flaws. I know when the person's lying. I know how to catch the person in the lies. I know how to get access to what I need to get access to. It's just easier. I know that's stupid, but in my head, it was just something that I could do.
So if someone were to go through your things, how would you feel?
I wouldn't care, honestly. Because at the end of the day, here's the thing.
Okay, good to know.
You do it, fine. Like, go do it.
What if you were to go through someone's things and you told them that you didn't go through it, but you did, and then you bring it up?
I mean, I think it depends. Like, if you, like, if you given, I'm this type of person, okay? I'm going to give you ample opportunity to tell me what you need to tell me. I'm going to throw it out there in so many ways to give you the opportunity to tell me. I am a person, I will be able to receive it, understand it, maybe be okay with it with the person talking to me about it versus continue and perpetuating a lie or perpetuating something that isn't accurate.
But if
that bothers me.
So if it's bothering you, why just not be upfront about it? Why wait for the other person? What if the other person is just like not thinking about it, or it just doesn't come up in their mind, in their head?
Well, I think I'm very clear. I think I ask questions in such a way that people will be able to understand where I'm going.
True.
I do it with my son. Like, I already know the answer. I just want you to tell me the answer. Like, I do my due diligence. I do my research. And so I'm like, just tell me. Because I can receive that better versus, like, going behind my back and doing it. Or trying to pretend like, now some people may feel like, okay, well, that was in my past, or I don't want someone to know something about my past that I'm not comfortable with. That's a conversation you should have, I think, if you're in a relationship. That's just my perspective. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Now,
that was a deep conversation.
That was. So let's move on and continue with this. So, all right. Let me ask you this. Would you still have the same perspective of he's a bum, he ain't doing shit for 2 years, if Issa Rae was actually doing what Lawrence was doing and Lawrence was out there making the money?
Oh, for sure.
So,
but as a, I don't know if I'm still out there, but as a gay male, I'm like, straight men see it differently. I feel like straight men would be like, oh, like, she's like a housewife, as like old school as that sounds. Because there's still people like that.
mm-hmm.
So it's like, I felt like as long as he's giving her that good, then he would have been good if he was the one making the money and had a different. Are you talking about like him working at the nonprofit too?
Yeah. So why that? Go ahead, say it.
Because it's obviously not like, I don't know if it's good money or not.
See, that is the problem. It don't have nothing to do with sexuality. It has to do with mentality. That is the problem. Because the thing is that it's okay for her as a female, right? Because the expectation, and here's where Molly comes in. We'll talk about this in another episode. There's so many issues in Insecure that triggers so many different perspectives. But this is a point that is prevalent in the series. That as a female, there's an expectation, right, that you have to be taken care of. Or as the male, there are certain things that you need to be able to do. And part of that is that you need to make a certain amount of money. Like, to me, that's bullshit. Like, if you're in love with someone, you're in love with that person. It doesn't matter how much money they make. It doesn't matter what they do. If you're in love with that person, you're in love with that person. And you all can grow. There's nothing wrong with expecting something from your partner or your husband, your wife, but certainly that expectation needs to be both ways. And so that's bullshit that you just said.
I know.
That is some bullshit.
Alright, that was stupid.
That's bullshit, right? It's like, I don't know how much money. What the fuck does it matter how much money he make? They living together, they got food, they're not on the street. Like, what does it matter? The lights are still on, the telephone works, they're still able to watch TV, he was able to play PlayStation. Obviously, they had internet.
Well, now that you bring it up like that, I feel like if we're talking about like them in the show,
yes,
I feel like it might have been the same way.
In the show, okay, take it out of the show. Your friend, let's just say it was your friend's situation. Let's say your friend, who happened to be a female, was taking care of her boyfriend.
Oh, fuck no.
And why is that a problem?
Because I'm not going to let my friends go through that.
Would you let your friends be taken care of by their man?
I I know my friends and I don't have.
That's
any
not my
problems with
question.
them.
That's not my question.
I mean, I would definitely. I can't meddle in their relationship with that, but I would let my friend know. You need to do something with your life. What if this doesn't work out?
And you don't want to be left in a corner because he got the money.
Exactly.
It's not that you're not saying to
Unless
your
you're
friend.
married and you get half of it, no prenup, go for it.
See, that's.
Just kidding.
Oh my god, that is some bullshit. So anyway, those are like double standards, and I think that's prevalent in relationships. Period. There's always an expectation that, as the man, that you are the provider, and it really bothers me. It throws me for a loop, especially like we're in a day and age, right, where I'm just going to take it out of insecure for a moment because again, this triggers so many different things. But it's like women, a lot of women want equality, equal pay, equal work, right? That's all about pay equity. Pay me for what I'm worth, even though I'm a female. Pay me what I'm worth, right? And so it gets to a dichotomy where it really bothers me, and I have friends like this where it's like, yeah, pay me, but when I'm in a relationship, oh, now you need to make more money than me, or you need to take care of me. That's bullshit. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, you need to bring your own shit to the table. Like, what are you bringing to the table? Like, don't worry about me being the man that I have to bring X, Y, and Z because I can handle my fucking own. Like, I can pay my own fucking bullshit. Now, that's not to say that I won't treat you, but let me treat you. Don't bring me a fucking demand because this ain't a fucking court case where you bring me a demand letter. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, you.
No, I see what you're saying.
But, yeah, it's fucking annoying. Okay, what about the concept of getting into a relationship, knowing that your significant other is not at the place where you are, right? Let's just say you make more money or you have more going on for your life. Is it okay to have an expectation that that person is eventually going to be better than where they are?
Talking about the person making more money?
The person that doesn't make as much money as you. In other words, let's say I'm in a relationship with someone who doesn't make as much money as me, or maybe they don't have as much as ambition as I do, right? And I get into that relationship knowing that, right? Is it okay several years later when that person is still doing what they were doing at the beginning and they're happy, they love what they're doing, but from a progression standpoint, they just haven't progressed? And so do you leave the relationship or do you try to change that person? Like, what's your perspective on that?
I feel like if things are going good, I don't know.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of situations or heard of situations where folks get into relationships, and I'm just going to be sexist for a moment because primarily the way storylines on TV and all that is, and quite frankly in a lot of people's lives, is that a woman gets with a man who ain't shit to other people, right? And the perspective is that that girl gets into the relationship, she knows that the dude ain't shit, right? And they've been together 5-6 years. She's riding hard for the boy, doing what she needs to do, and 5-6 years down the line, he's still in the same position.
Yeah.
Do you tell her to leave him, or like what would be your advice to that person? And I understand this is truly a hypothetical situation.
Yeah, I mean, if with what you just brought up, if like the guy ain't shit, this and that, I would definitely tell the person to leave them if they're not bringing anything like to the table other than like, I don't know. But in another scenario where they're like, yeah, one person makes more than the other, but they're like still both good. It's really just on how everything is.
I just think if you get into a situation knowing what you're getting into, you can't have an expectation without having a full-fledged conversation, setting limits on what your expectations of that relationship is. Like, I think people get into relationships with the expectations in their own head. Okay, he's going to get better, or she's going to get better, or she's going to do better, or he's going to do better. But they never really have that conversation with each other,
Yeah.
right? And so then there's resentment with the person who's out there making more money or going to work. Or let's just say you're in a situation where you are working full time, you're going out and you're working 40 hours a week, or maybe some more, doing overtime. And the other person, well, they just can't find a job, or they're not happy, right? Or they don't want to get into a job that's going to belittle them, right? Let's just say I have a college degree, a 4-year college degree, but I can't find a job in my field. Let's say I got a 4-year degree in IT, and I can't find an IT job. I'm not going to go and work at Target. I'm not going to go work at Walmart, because that's going to belittle me, right? In that situation, if you are in that situation where you are out there doing a job and you're with someone who obviously have the skill set, but just can't find the market in that skill set, but they don't want to feel like they belittle themselves by going to Walmart or working at the gas station or going to Target. Like, what do you think? How would you react to that, you think? I know this is hypothetical.
I would see how the person is like handling the way they're going by it, like trying to find a job, this and that. I would definitely want to help my significant other. But if they're not really, if it doesn't look like they're like trying, then
What does look like trying mean? What does that look like to
applying
you?
for jobs, going on interviews, like even if you go on an interview and you're like, yeah, no, it's not it. At least you went, you tried, on to the next one. It's all on how you go about it.
I just feel like, I think that's easy to say, right? It's about you applying. Okay, I can apply to 30,000 jobs, but if I know the market isn't there, or I know I'm in an area where I'm not going to get what I ultimately think I should have, I'm not going to get a job. And if I'm not going to get a job, then I need to think about my next steps. So for me, I just feel like...
But it's like if you can go somewhere else and get a job where you make what you're worth and you're happy with it, why not do that?
But what if that uproots the relationship? And in other words, what if that is in a different city, different state?
Then that's a conversation for them to have. Because let's say they get offered a great job, great benefits, great everything, and it's in a different state or city. Like, wouldn't you want the best for the other person?
I
And
agree.
they've been trying, like, in the area that they were in.
But then you feel like
It's definitely
I wasted
hard.
my time.
I mean, I'm not saying, oh, you have to break up. Like,
I'm breaking up. I ain't gonna hold this relationship. But go ahead.
yeah, it doesn't need to be a long distance relationship. What if the person is like, oh, you know what, I'm ready for like a change. Like, let me get my shit in order too. Let me look for jobs wherever they're going. And it just works out.
Yeah. I do think it's a conversation. And I think people get into relationships out of attraction too much, physically, without thinking outside of physically what you can provide me. Where is this? What can you offer me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And too often we have these things in our head where we have expectations and we set expectations about relationships, but we don't have those full conversations with the individual that we're with, right? At least that's not the perspective. I don't know, like, if you think otherwise. All right. So that's how we got into this whole, like, topic on this particular issue. So I stated, like, there are so many different triggers of insecurity, and to the point that I think we decided that we were going to do
Another episode.
another episode, but not on the cheating, but more on some of the larger aspects of insecurity that Insecure created, or at least triggers while you're watching: jobs, friendships, relationships, personal aspects of who you are. I didn't realize how good of a show it was until I binge watched it
You're welcome.
during this quarantine. It's a very good show.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I think I'm gonna thank Issa Rae and her writers and everyone else who contribute to the show.
You're welcome.
Because they actually are part of the show.
Okay, but like, you're welcome.
For
Who you would have never gotten into it again if it wasn't for me.
it was on my radar.
It was really not though.
It was on my to-do list.
Shut the fuck up.
Ah!
You see how? Oh my God.
All right. So I don't want to belabor the point, but I feel like this was a good conversation. What do you think?
It was good.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
It was very deep, but it was really good.
Good conversation. All right. So that is the episode. The episode part 1 of the insecure effect. No, I just want people to know, I have a whole setup. I got the menu over here. I got drink options over here. Blah, 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 blah. I think this should do. But anyhow, so I appreciate Cristhian once again coming to the cafe. We're very limited on who can come here because of Corona. Right, there's only so much spraying of disinfectant I can do.
This needs to go away.
But anyhow, so I appreciate you being here. You want to say goodbye to the people?
Bye.
All right, so be sure to tell a friend. You can listen to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn, LinkedIn, Stitcher, Google, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. You can view the footage of the podcast on YouTube. The channel is Keep Street Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe. If you have a comment that you just want to say, whether it's positive, negative, put it in the comment. I don't really care. I will read them. I'll take them. I'm okay with constructive criticism. But we appreciate the time that you take in listening, viewing, and all the music that you heard on the podcast was created by my brother, Crazy Tree, out of Detroit, Michigan, 313, both plays music. And until next time, just remember, here at the cafe, we will continue to drink, listen, and converse. Peace and